How's it going, guys? Mask here, and I'm back with my next in-depth hero review. And yes, I added a new hero to my collection. It's Morrigan. So we're taking a look at Morrigan today. I'm super pumped. I got crazy lucky. It only took me, I think it was 5 multi-pulls in total off of her banner. So I guess it was 1,000 crystals, which is a pretty significant amount. But I had naturally saved that up. I just got like a bonus 200 or something from the weekly rewards today. So I'm like, that's it. We're going in. And I'm super glad. So we have Morrigan. She is one of the craziest damage dealers in this game. Is phenomenal for PvP or PvE content. But you're going to build her differently depending on which one of those you want to use her for. So let's look at her leader skill. It's a 40% attack boost to all fire allies, no matter what. The next best fire attack boost we have has been 20% prior to now, I'm pretty sure. And Electra offers a 60% boost, but that forces you to run a mono fire team, which isn't always great. You want some diversity. So she's being used as basically every single person in the top of the arena's leader right now, because this is just such a crazy attack buff. It makes her hit like a truck. Now, her normal passive, inflict damage equal to 50% of attack to a bleeding target at the start of this turn. Increase the caster's attack by 10% for 2 turns when attacking a bleeding target. Stacks up to 5 times. Apply the status Demon Sword Bloody Petal to the caster upon killing an enemy to inflict 30% additional damage for 2 turns. It's nuts! It inflicts bleeding damage equal to 50% of attack to a bleeding target at the start of the turn. Like, this just pumps her damage up so much, it's out of this world. Bonus damage here, 30% bonus. Like, this passive, read it 3 times to take it all in. There's just so much going on here. And that wasn't even her level 60 passive. 50% chance to apply Demon Sword Bloody Petal to the caster for 2 turns when attacking. Automatically 50% chance to apply for 2 turns. And you apply Demon Sword Bloody Petal every time she kills something for a 30% additional damage for 2 turns. And that's not 30% additional attack. That's additional damage. That's at the end of the calculations. 50% chance to apply Demon Sword Bloody Petal to the caster for 2 turns when attacking. Revives with 50% HP and becomes a berserker for 3 turns. Once per battle. Guarantees counterattack and multi-strike and decrease damage taken by 25%. But when you become a berserker, you lose control of Morrigan and she just goes crazy. And then after 3 turns, she becomes normal Morrigan again and you can control her. So don't be confused. I've often found myself thinking, oh, it's just like, she should just die after she's done being a berserker, right? So I've often ignored her, but you still want to focus her down once you pause berserker. I know it's 25% less damage, but she is cranking out the damage and you're going to want to deal with it. Carnivorous Sword, level 1, inflicts damage equal to 100% of attack to 1 enemy. 35% chance to cause bleeding for 30% of attack for 2 turns. So it's 100% damage to 1 enemy, and a respectable but not a huge chance to apply a 2-turn bleed. If you level it up, the damage goes up and the chance to apply the bleed goes up. Inflict damage equal to 120% of attack to a target and 2 adjacent enemies. So her skill 2 is a cleave. 35% chance to cause bleeding for 30% of attack for 2 turns. And without any other percentages, it simply removes a buff from the target. So she's a debuffer as well, just like Ruby. Fantastic. Come into her skill 3. Inflicts damage equal to 300% of attack that ignores defense. Ignores defense. Saya was the previous biggest nuker in the game because she could ignore defense too. Morrigan, oh my gosh. 60% chance to make the target unable to be revived for 2 turns. You skill her up. I'm pretty sure the percent chance of the anti-revive goes up as well. That I'm not 100% sure on because, of course, I don't have a dupe Morrigan yet. I should just check the skill 3s in the arena and I could find that out. Decrease the cooldown of skill 3 by 2 turns if the attack fails to kill the target. What? So it's a 5 turn cooldown if it doesn't get a kill, but this attack is going to get a kill pretty often. Ignoring defense, 300% of attack. She gets 30% damage boost, which comes after that 300% from the rest of her kit. Doing bonus damage to bleeding at the start of the turn, 50% of her attack there. It's just like, it does not stop adding up. This alone, 7 Fort, is hitting for 21k. 30% bonus coming from her passive over here. Additional damage. That comes at the end of that 21k calculation. That would pump that up to like 27k. And it keeps going. Damage, damage, damage. Killer. She turns into a crazy killing machine. Morrigan. All right, let's look at her talents. So in her level 50 talent, you choose between Battlefield Thrill, 50% chance to recover 30% HP when using skill 3. 50% chance to heal. Let's do more elemental damage. Now, Morrigan is way too versatile of a unit being used in arena or all PvE content to warrant ever getting the elemental damage buff. This is for people you're only taking in on an elemental advantage dungeon, like the guild dungeon or a boss dungeon, and that's all they're ever going to do. So obviously we're going with the increased attack. 20% increased attack on Morrigan. Phenomenal. I got so lucky when I was rolling these skills this morning. Subject now in 52, this is up for in these 52 talent options, we have an 80% chance to cause one enemy to bleed for 2 turns when using skill 2. Very high percent chance, but you don't get to pick the enemy, so I just did not see it worth it. And this is going to be, this choice here is 100% whether or not you are using her primarily in PvE content or in the arena. Now, for everyone who's new to the game, or you're still in that mid-game time zone, which I mean that's pretty much all of us, honestly, you're gonna want to focus on PvE. That's how you're gonna progress. PvP is endgame. If you're really wanting to push up the high in the ranks of PvP, that's when you need to take advantage of increased damage dealt in the arena by 30%. And just win more PvP matches. But chances are, in this mid-game that we're in, this 30% is not going to make enough of a difference in the arena. You're still going to win or you're still going to lose. It's not like max minning the arena, which is why I'm increasing her damage dealt to bosses, because I really need to complete more PvE content and just get more purple stars, grind more advents, clear harder advents, do better in the guild dungeons. That's why I'm building most of my characters right now. I'm building for PvE. I've re-talented just about my whole team, and that is totally situational. You need to know that. In no way am I saying this is the best honor. It's definitely boss damage or arena damage. Pick whichever one it depends on where you are in the game so far. If you haven't cleared enough advent dungeons, the boss damage is better, honestly. That's how you're going to help progress through that mid game. Get those 5th and 6th purple stars. Now, 50% chance to burn one enemy for 2 turns using skill 1. Don't get to pick the enemy. Elemental damage. Same thing I said for earlier. She's just not going to be specifically used for any kind of element dungeons. And you really never take this one because decreased element damage, you're just not going to take that unit into a wrong color dungeon. 10% defense increased. Talent 54. Moving on. Now, this one is a little bit debated, but I went through the entire list, and honestly, you see all 3 of these. Actually, more in the arena list. Obviously, you're seeing the Gladiator's technique, and you're seeing Grudge. Grudge is a 20% chance to increase attack by 30% when attacked. Now, that's just too much. That is just so good for PvE content and for arena. But in arena, typically, if you're getting attacked, you're probably going to die. So this is less good for arena, and it's phenomenal for PvE content. She's going to get attacked a ton in PvE and get that 30% attack buff and just start being able to start shredding people. If like I said, this is the 2 different Morgans we're building. I'm only using her in PvP, or I'm using her to clear PvE content. Let's not forget, she's absolutely necessary for clearing the Kali dungeon, and Kali is a phenomenal unit. We want to get her. That's why I have her on the PvE talents. So this one, there's only really 2 options here: decreased damage in the arena or Grudge. Now in this section, in the level 58 talents, we have crit damage, crit chance, and 20% chance to grant penetration for 2 turns when attacked. 20% is just way too low for me. It's only going to get activated 1 in 5 times when you're getting attacked, and all it's doing is granting penetration. Sure, that's great, but her ult already ignores defense. It just doesn't seem worth it. And then crit damage is only useful if you have a ton of crit strike already. So we get crit strike. I am building her extremely high I have built her an extremely high crit strike chance, especially for my units, almost 50%, which is great. But Actually, this would push me into 50% if I was able to get the third star on here. I think I said what I'm at 40, nope, 44.7. Okay, I'd be 49.7, but that's great. 15% chance to critical strike chance increase. Fantastic. And of course, her level 60 talent, just get it. It's fantastic. We've already talked about it, but that is how you would build her talent-wise. Now let's go over and check out her runes. Gosh. Now, there's a couple different ways to approach the build on Morrigan from runes, but it's pretty standard choice between these two, actually. People are either focusing health and attack on her because she gets a self-revive. Any character that self-revives takes advantage of health runes like that much more. Everybody is running attack runes on her because she just multiplies that damage coming out of that attack so much. But because she's already pumping out so much damage, she's got damage multipliers here, there. When she hits, she has a 30% attack buff on herself. That's why I'm focusing on crit strike chance, and a large majority of people do. And basically, the PvE Morrigan, high crit chance. You want to do as much damage as you can, multiply that damage as high as you can versus bosses. So crit strike, crit damage, attack, and slot 1 and 2 are going to be largely crit strike, crit damage, ideally crit strike, crit damage. Slot 3, you're always going to want HP increase, maybe a mixture of multi-strike, counter-strike, but mostly, almost every character wants to get a bunch of HP out of slot 3, but we would never really say no to the multi-strikes, counter-strikes. Slot 4, triple attack, best way to go with this slot. There's not really any arguing here. You have multi-strike, counter-attack, attack, evasion, and HP recovery. Triple attack in slot 4. In slot 5, once again, evasion, attack, counterattack, HP recovery, accuracy. Out of that, you want as much attack as you can get into slot 5. And slot 6, crit strike chance. That's going to be the best for PvE. Now, if you're building her for PvP, because she's such an incredibly hard-hitting character, you honestly just want to get as much attack speed as you possibly can on her. So attack speed shows up in slot 1, slot 5, no, sorry, slot 1, slot 2, and slot 6. So they're going to be attack speed, crit chance, or really just attack speed. And you're not going to be too picky, because when you get attack speed runes, you don't really get to choose what else is on them. Attack speed, attack speed, attack speed, attack speed. Slot 3 is still going to be HP increase. Slot 4, always going to be attack. Slot 6, attack speed. And slot 5, you have more attack. Triple attack, triple attack, triple attack speed, triple attack speed, triple attack speed, and triple HP would be a perfect PvP build. But basically, we take out all the attack speed and throw in crit chance and crit damage for PvE to just maximize the damage you're able to crit on bosses, to help you burst bosses down from their enrage points and prevent your team from getting wiped. But Morrigan is arguably one of the best damage dealers, she's one of the best damage dealers we have in the game. She hits like an absolute truck. The crits I've seen on her when she's got her buffs going in a dungeon, in the Cali dungeon actually, where she gets, I think it's like she gets 100% attack increase. That gets insane. You do so much damage, it's disgusting. But that's pretty much everything to cover on Morrigan. We got her talents, her skills, her runes. And yeah, I'm hoping to I got to get as many purple stars on her as quickly as I can. She's good. Thanks for checking this out, guys. This is Morrigan. Let me know who you want to see reviewed next in the comments down below. I can review someone I don't own as well. I got Morrigan today. I was like, that's it. She's next, no matter what. And yeah, I got my Facebook and my Twitter down there, guys. Grab those. Check me out check out my social medias. That's how you know when we're going live on Twitch and when new content's coming out. As always, I'll make it a quick. Check out BlueStacks, first link in the description down below. It'll let you play Knights Chronicle on your computer, abuse your computer's better processing power, better graphics, and of course, save your cell phone battery. Smash that subscribe button, guys, and stay classy.